So, hi. Can you hear me? I can't, there's a bright light in my face, so it's good for me that I can't see any of you right now. I'm so incredibly blessed to be part of this, this event. I'm so glad. I'm so thankful to Pragi. I don't know where you are, but thank you for bringing me and bringing Haas and putting us, and Dan, and putting us all on the same stage together. I'm really not good with introductions. I'm a poet. I can talk about big things. I'm not good with talking about myself. I kind of feel like sometimes it's like a job interview. And for those of you that or the misfortune of being on the receiving end, when you go into a job interview, it's kind of like you're in an interrogation room in a cop TV show. And so they sit you down, there's usually a bright light, and they go like, so, tell me about yourself. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm always there, and I'm like, say something smart, say something smart, say something smart. And I'll say something like, oh, well, I'm Afra, you know, I'm from Dubai, I speak English, Arabic, fluent sarcasm, you know, the regulars. I'm very sarcastic. I'm a poet. I'm, as Haas says, a human being first. I couldn't tell time on a watch with numbers until I was 20. I didn't learn how to tie my shoes until I was 5. When I went through school, they told me that I was unteachable. They literally told me that they couldn't teach me and that there was no point. And they had filled my head with those kinds of things. And sometimes I answer questions with way too much information. So that's basically how my job interviews go. So there's going to be a lot of different random things. So I hope that you will indulge me. I am so glad to be here, and I'm actually I, like Safwa, have issues with memorizing. So. I'm actually feeling the love today. It's been such a warm welcome, it's been such a good event, and I'm feeling the love. So the first poem I'm going to do for you is going to be a love poem. So if you like it, I'm going to need your energy. Performance poetry is different than regular poetry, so I'm going to need your energy. So give me some energy. I am going to do a love poem. I've only ever written one love poem in my life, and this is it. It's very personal. So if you like it, snap. If you love it, clap. If you relate to it, you know, scream or yell or do whatever, you know, stomp your feet, do whatever you need to do. But this is me sharing a part of my heart with you guys. This is my love poem. Ready? Dear food. I can't get enough of you. I love the way you melt every time you see me. I love the way you love me. I love the way you don't judge me after a long day at work and I don't want to talk. You know, just the right flavors to hit the spot. You make me want to leave everything that is sane and abandon all rationality. Dear food, you make me realize that my dream job is being a taste tester in the test kitchen on the Food Network. You make me want to get a pet dog so I can name him Ronald. Yes, as in Ronald McDonald, as in I'll have the McChicken with extra cheese. And please, don't skimp on the fries, dear food. You are the addiction I can't possibly deny, a spinning vortex of doom that makes me look forward to the ride. Dear food, I know nobody's perfect, but dear food, I kind of wish you didn't make me fat. Dear food, I tried on my jeans last night, but I couldn't close the zipper. I jumped up and down, but they only got tighter. I sucked in my gut till I felt like my stomach was touching my back. It did not work. Dear food, I'm now seeing your effect on me. Dear food, they said I should try low-fat cheese on brown bread. I tried it once, but I couldn't get past the smell, so I put it down and ate a brownie instead. Dear food, you're my bestest best friend. You've seen me at my worst, but still greet me with open arms. In the end, dear food, forget the jeans. I think it's time to wear dresses. Dear food, I want to cover all the mirrors in the house because I can't stand looking at myself in them. Dear food, 3 flights of stairs got the best of me and the models are staring at me in magazines. Dear food, it's not you, it's me. Dear food, we need to talk. Dear food, I hope we can still be friends. Dear food, I miss the me that I was when we were together. Dear food, sometimes it still hurts to think about you. Sometimes I wish the longing would stop. Sometimes billboards make me sad. Dear food, I think we should stop seeing each other. Dear food, I forget why I'm writing this and now I want a sandwich, preferably fried and served with cheese. Dear food, I think we're done, but you'll always have a special place in my heart. Dear food, how have you been? It's been nearly 6 months. 13.5 kilos later, 3 flights of stairs are nothing. Dear food, I still miss you like crazy. Dear food, but I know we were meant to part ways. Dear food, I still love you. your food. I could never love you, not at least as much as I love myself, your food. This is my last song, this is my golden goal after extra time, your food. I guess this is goodbye. Salam alaikum. So, in case anyone is wondering, Food and I got back together. We talked about our issues, we got back together, and we're doing really well. And we've decided that the diet has no place in our lives, so we're doing really well. But the point that I want to make is that when I started doing poetry, which was a very long time ago, when I started writing about big things. I mean, I was talking about, the global situation. I was talking about, food is as universal as it gets, right? So, and I started talking about all of the big things, and I started doing competitive poetry slams, and I used to write the poems that people wanted to hear, and I used to write the poems that I thought would score high, and I thought that people would like, and it was really eye-opening because when you write something for an audience, you have to remember not to lose yourself. And so the next poem I want to share with you is about that. It's not as funny, but it's good. It's called I Wrote the Poems. I wrote the poems they wanted me to write. Said the things they wanted me to say, still they told me it wasn't enough. I swallowed their comments, but my words are wedged in my windpipe, dancing down to the last syllable. My chest now filled with flowers from the funeral of my words that nobody attended. This garden of poems that no one attends to is magic between my rib cage. It is rhythm and sway. It is equal parts miracle and reminder that there is beauty in shatter. There can be life in destruction. Look. Can you see the songbirds resting in a nest of all that was left unsaid? Can you hear the poem inside my treasure chest heart? Sometimes our greatest victories come out of the loudest silence. And so I wrote, that's the end of the poem in case anyone's wondering. I wrote the poems, and as I look back, I think, okay, these are great poems, but where is Afra? Where are you in this? And I think you have to be very conscious as an artist and as a poet. You have to be very conscious of who you are, what you're projecting, and you need to not lose your voice. You need to find your voice and go after it. And so I started exploring my identity. I'm glad that so many speakers before me were talking about identity because it's incredibly important. And I started to really realize who I was and who I was as a poet, who I was as an artist, who I was as a person. And so I always tell people I get asked 3 questions. The first of which is, what are we having for lunch or dinner, depending on the time? The second question I get asked is, Afra, why aren't you married yet? And why aren't you worried that you're not married? And I refer them also to my serious relationship with food. And third, the third question I get asked is where are you from? And this next poem, it's called A Good Punch. It's exploring that, element of who are you, where are you from, and why do people care so much? And so this is the first time I actually addressed that, and I addressed it through poetry. And I always tell people that poetry has helped me do things that to confront normal situations that I wouldn't otherwise confront. So this is A Good Punch. You think you're so funny. Think everything you say is a clown and trampoline birthday party words like knock knock jokes knocked down with punchlines like half-breed, hybrid, unholy, incomplete. I've spent my whole life trying to figure out what complete is because it seems that nationalities come with conditions and I clearly didn't get that memo, like you need to pay a fee of admission, and I clearly didn't attend that meeting. Biologically, my mother is Japanese. She's also American. Her mother's mother came from Sweden. Her adoptive father is Osage, Native American chief of chiefs of the tribe in Oklahoma. We have sushi on New Year's Day in my house. My father is Emirati. Spends his life giving back to his country. Teacher who taught this generation of leaders, son of a pearl diver, descended from greatness, son to a mother who had a heart so big, anything and everything I could possibly wish for could fit inside of it. In school, they called me Bint al-Ajnabiyya, the foreigner's daughter. My eyes were more slanted than theirs. My accent was different than theirs. My skin doesn't know what color it is. My eyes don't see colors anyways. Our veins, I'll pump the same blood in our hearts. I'll thump the same thump 4 chambers, and you still can't find room for some acceptance in college. I went 4 semesters before the girls stopped calling me Jessica bint Atiq. They refused to call me by my real name, the name my mother had so carefully picked out for me, the name that was so traditional. Doctors in the hospital wondered where she heard it from. She says, she saw my face and decided that I looked like Afra. I'm not sorry. My name doesn't sound as foreign as you think I look. I'm not sorry for who I am. When you tell me to go sit in the corner of the cafeteria, tell me to look outside because the boat is probably waiting to take me back to wherever it is I came from. It's a sick reality when the boy in the schoolyard tells me, Afra, maybe your grandparents should have never gotten married and then your parents would never have met and then we wouldn't have to stare at your ugly face and try to figure out where you come from any longer. I'd say, my grandparents both died of cancer. But they never acted like they were sick. The only disease I can see is the one staring back at me when you laugh at me because I'm not like you, say things that only mean kids on playgrounds do and sing songs of, you're so ugly, you're so fat, no one loves a monster like that, don't have friends, but you think you do. If you died, we wouldn't miss you. You mock my parents and my heritage. My parents taught me kindness, and your face is pretty, but your face is a waste of a perfectly good punch. You should consider yourself lucky because I never miss. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's one of my favorite pieces, but it's also one of the hardest pieces to do. I've done it maybe 90 times, and it doesn't get easier. But it's one of those things. I always think that art is born of struggle, and poetry is born of pain. So. I always like to put that message across. That was intense. So again, it was about finding myself and finding your voice and realizing that all of the people, even the ones the teachers that told me I couldn't be taught. I mean, if you would have asked me, back, please don't ask me how old I am, but if you would have asked me before when I was in school, told me that I would be speaking, addressing students and faculty and all these fabulous speakers in a school, that I would be asked to come and tell my story in a school, I would have said, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm pretty sure you have a different Afra, but I'm very fortunate to do what I love, to realize that I love poetry, I love performing, I love being on stage, and that really through the power of art and through the power of performance, you can change something that is so, something that has been a hindrance to you for a very long time and turn it into something that people love and turn it into something positive. And I think that is the essential message. I mean, the talk before me where they were talking about the intersection of art and science, that's exactly it. Like, you need to find that balance and turn it into something meaningful. So I'm always very grateful to do that. But there was a lot of people that told me that I shouldn't be a poet. So let's just do some audience participation here. Who has been told, and I can't really see all of you, but who has ever been told that they're in the wrong profession, or that they're in the wrong major, or that what they're doing is, yes. or what they're doing is not important, and that the thing that they love should just be a hobby or a side project? Okay, so from what I can see, from the blinding light in my eyes, there are quite a few people. So a lot of people told me that I couldn't be a poet, and one person in particular inspired the next poem. It's called Numbers, and you should know that I'm really bad with numbers. I mean, I'm the kid, there's more than, yes, power to us. I mean, I'm the one where they ask me 2 + 2, and I'll be like 7. So I'm really bad with numbers, and this poem is called Numbers. It's about that experience when someone told me, you can't do this. And I think the snaps and the claps prove otherwise, and the impact that poetry has on people proves otherwise, but this is Numbers. I've never been good with numbers, or names, or remembering where I parked. I won't be able to match your face to your name, but I can tell you exactly what I was thinking about eating when we met. You were a cheeseburger and I was a salad, but who am I kidding? I don't eat salads. They There is no equation for the number of times you will try and fail. Failure is the product of effort and imagination divided by the number of setbacks. I am not good with numbers. You said I was your 7. You said I was your perfect prime number, not divisible, undeniable. You said 7. It was 7 times I would look for you before I realized you weren't coming back 9 times. I repeated the song. You played me when you strummed your guitar. You played me. 4 years since the last time I saw who I thought I knew in the mirror. 5 is the number of years I spent in college. 11 is the number of guys who graduated because of me. Who would never know or see a college degree without help from me. It was the 2nd of August 2013. 2 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 3 is 16. The year I learned that friendship sinks and not every hand held out is a hand worth holding. Last time I held a hand, she was in a hospital room getting ready to die. Death doesn't scare me. Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty still scares me. I can't get over it, believe me. I tried to play by the rules, but that's a lie. Lies go full circle like pupils dilating, like dialing on an old-fashioned telephone. 05054. I still remember your phone number, but I never let it ring, so I settled for the dial tone. 12 is how old I was the first time I ever felt unbeautiful because he said I was. 21 is 12 backwards. The year I realized that my thinking was backwards. Words cut stranger shapes from strangers' words. A's, B's, C's, D's, D's. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Ruby shoes, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Each number bears a significance that we cannot see until we experience that instance when we realize who we are and why we are them. I remember you said I could never be a poet because I would never be able to put 100 words together, and you're right. I can't give you 100 words, instead I'll give you 255. Here's 200 just because, and 55 for good measure for every time you said my words wouldn't take me anywhere. Hand in hand, holding, folding, toting, telling truth, no use, lies, it's fine, the time, lies don't fly sky high, you and me, you and I not seeing eye to eye, we never walk together, drifting apart is my art, words are my brush, hush, don't say a word. A picture's worth 1,000 words, unheard, absurd. I remember rains as planes as the trains of my thought that we bought a penny for your thoughts, a penny for the many times. I remember that September before the last December when we spin, splint, stash, live outside the box, unlock, stop. I remember you said I could never be a poet because I could never even put 100 words together, but I've never been good with numbers. So let's go. So for those of you who are also bad with numbers, there is hope. And I think a lot of the times we internalize a lot of the things that come at us, whether it's someone saying that they don't particularly care for your artwork, or it's someone that says, oh yeah, that's nice, but I mean, you know, maybe a different color, maybe you shouldn't be wearing that, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, and we internalize it so much that it becomes a part of our narrative, and it's really sad. And what I've realized is when you find the thing that you love, and you feel like it's the thing that is going to give you wings, you feel like it's the thing that's going to make you fly, it is incredible. I used to have a job. I'm currently fun-employed. I quit my cushy corporate job because I wanted to pursue my PhD and become a poet, become a full-time poet. So this is literally my livelihood. And here's the thing. There are always going to be obstacles. There are always going to be barriers. And you know, you leave a job, you worry about different things. You worry about living from month to month. You worry about expenses. You worry about, is this the right choice? You worry about, did I jump off a cliff or did I get shoved off a cliff? I mean, there are so many things. And the life of an artist is one of incredible beauty, but it's also one of incredible struggle. And I've been fortunate, thankfully, since quitting my job, knowing that this is what I meant to do. I meant to be on stage. I meant to be a poet. I would not trade it for anything. When you find the thing that you love, and I encourage all of you to find the things that you love, and maybe you're not going to find it today, maybe you're not going to find it tomorrow, but just keep trying things. You know, I mean, I can't sing to save my life, you heard me, but I incorporate songs into my poems because I feel like it's something that I want to do. And let me tell you this, and I say this with absolute 195% conviction, you are unbreakable. You will go on, and everyone sitting in this room is going to do big things, and you are going to do big things in spite of the people that tell you that you can't. You are going to do big things regardless of what they think you can do. You are the only person that can set limits for yourself, and nobody else can do that. So take this as advice from your friendly neighborhood spoken word poet, because it is true. I have lived it, I have seen it. You will do amazing things, and you will fly in ways that you never thought you could. And obstacles, they teach you, and sometimes they're really horrible, and you feel like life is kicking you in the head, and unfortunately that doesn't really stop. So you get up, you brush yourself off, you brush it off, and you get back to work, and you find the thing that you love, and you do it well, and while you're doing it, you inspire other people to do it too, because that's what this is about. It is about our common human bond. It's not about me being a poet and someone else being a DJ and someone else doing this. It is about the way that we lift each other up. It is about the community that we build together, and you are all unbreakable. So I want to end my talk with a poem that I would like to dedicate to everyone sitting in this room. See, that's so nice. You guys are gonna get a poem dedicated to you. I have to put this down because I have to move a lot. So the poem is called 2 a.m. And if any of you have ever stayed up, I'm sure you've stayed up until 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. There's a lot of needless things. Like I lay in bed and I know that I need to get up early, and I know that I need to go to bed, and I'm so tired. I'm like, history of marching bands. Let's Google, you know? And so really nighttime is time for thinking. So I named this poem 2 a.m. And it's about, show of hands, how many of you have a dream? Like a dream that you would love to pursue? And it doesn't matter if it's ridiculously out of reach. How many of you have a dream? Okay, good. We have a group of dreamers. This is excellent. So this poem is called, it's called 2 a.m. And, you know, snap or clap or whatever if you like it. I need to know I'm doing a good job. It's just how poets work. Okay, serious face. The fastest way to kill a poetry performance is to be generic. The fastest way to kill a dream is to suffocate it. Squeeze out every last breath, wedge it between the words realistic and unattainable, wrap it in blankets of self-doubt, and tell it has no place here. Ostracize and outcast until no one recognizes its face or speaks its name, kill off passion. Make sure that if the dream ever dares to show its face here again, the dream has no friends and nowhere to stay, so when they tell you, you can be anything you want to be. They mean something within reason, within the constructs of a society that dictates what is acceptable. Find a job that is acceptable, silence your passion, watch your dreams like a silent movie on repeat. When I tell them I'm a poet, when I tell them I am a poet, they look at me like a failed business venture. Sorry, we can't meet with you. Call us back when you have a stronger proposal. Poets and entrepreneurs both know convention is just convenience we use to convince ourselves that our dreams are worthless, that we are worth less than is customary, convicting us with no judge and a fact-lacking jury. Your Honor, I move to dismiss the motion of the notion of the continuous, quote, status quo. You can't quell my concern. Yes, you can direct quote me on that. Let's recap. They say they like my flow, but I know that it means that we object to this rejection. Like the records show, we know it is never about the final destination. It is about how badly we want to get there. This is for people who want to get there. The underdogs, who know they can beat the odds when the deck is clearly stacked against them. These are people who know what can happen when muggles believe in magic. They look to new horizons like Frodo leaving the Shire, scared but determined. They are not misfits, they are perfectly placed apostrophes. The difference between Y-O-U apostrophe R-E and your this is about survivors like a skin grown thick like armor, riding through life like a battlefield. We are knuckles bruised from knocking on doors that said they'd never open because our ideas were never good enough. But the same people rejecting us are the same people who use the flower crown filter and forget that Snapchat was a startup. Those who stuff the makers of change in boxes like monsters and bedtime stories, forced to roam around under cover of darkness. The ones who forgot how sleep feels because their dreams are more important than rest. No wonder they say 2 a.m. was made for the artists. We know this is not the quickest way to become famous. It is about looking at what is and figuring out how to change it. It is about life slapping you across the face and you screaming back, I got this. This is me. This is me being asked to spell the word unnecessary in the 6th grade spelling bee, replacing a C with an S, 2 S's with a C, tripping over my words, not seeing what I was saying, stuttering off the stage in shame and coming back a slam queen. This is for him who knows this app can revolutionize the way we see business. Saves his allowance because investors won't take a chance on someone armed with just a dream and a business plan under the age of 19. This is for her, with a passion that can outshine the stars and a voice like an anthem. We have lost too many stars to this life's brutal clenched fist. This is not a motivational speech. This is a call to create communities of creators, engineers, of ideas. It is about knowing that no amount of training and social conditioning can change what you believe in, so open your arms. Leave your hearts out like a welcome mat. Turn on the porch lights. It's been a starless night for far too long. Let the dreams know. Let the dreams know. It's time to come home. Salam alaikum. Thank you so much.